Okay, good morning and welcome to On Point. This morning I'm introducing Katrina Foley, who wanted me to tell I want to talk about her background, and she wanted me to tell you that she graduated from UCLA, also graduated from Seattle University Law School, and has a woman-owned law firm, and is now has served on the Costa Mesa City Council, and is now serving on the Newport Mesa School Board. And good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's great to see you.
Thanks for being here.
I have a couple of questions and not a whole lot of time. So just a word about serving on the Board of Education. Your term is up soon, and I'm wondering what you think is your proudest accomplishment.
Well, I think there's three things that I set out to complete as a school board member, and I feel good about having checked them off my list. The first I'll start with is increasing the funding at every school site. I worked very hard for about 8 months to convince the board that we needed to increase the funding for science. And we now provide $20 more per student at every single school site. That is huge because that really impacts the students directly. And that's what my mission has been as a school board member, is to get back to directly impacting students and the teachers and the staff that are directly involved with educating our students. Secondly, I'm also really proud of the capital improvement projects that we have managed to accomplish. We have a stadium coming forward at Costa Mesa High School that has been long in the works. I was on the city council when I first pitched that proposal, and so it's nice to see that it's heading to the Department of State Architecture, and we might have a stadium that we can all enjoy in the next 2 years that benefits our greater community, property tax values. It really helps kind of tie the bow for what Costa Mesa High School's renaissance has been over the last couple years. And then with that, I'll go back to the budget issue, doubling the athletics and doubling the arts budgets. Also very proud of that work because, again, my goal has been to redirect our funding back to the school sites. That's really been my focus over the last 3.5 years. And then finally, communication. I think we are much better about opening up the process and communicating better. We still have more work to do, but communicating better with our teachers, with our parents, with our staff and our students. And we're still working on that, but I think communication and sharing information and making sure people are informed about what's happening to their children and what's happening in their jobs is a really critical part of being a school board member. And you know, it takes a lot of questioning and it takes a lot of tenacity to make sure that all that process is opened up for the public, because that's what this is, a public agency.
Yeah, that would be great. Who's actually responsible for that communication? It doesn't come from the board itself. It comes from the superintendent. Is that true?
Well, it depends on what communication. So there's many layers. We have communication that comes out directly from the superintendent. He sends out a communication every week. We have communication that the board members request to go out to the greater community. We have communication at each of the school sites. We've challenged each of the school sites to do a better job of communicating with the parents about what's happening every day at school so they can be involved. You can't be an involved parent if you don't know what's going on. And so there's many layers. And then Laura Boss also is our public information officer and communications director. And so she does a lot of the promotional communications and crisis management issues. But so there's many layers of communication, and the board minutes and agendas. That's another form of communication.
That's right. And you're actually on TV too, right?
That's true. We're on TV. I don't know if anyone watches, but we're there.
I watch. But in Costa Mesa, it's on what?
Well, that's when I first got on the board. In Costa Mesa, it's on channel 24, which is the city channel, but it's also in Costa Mesa on the city website as a link that anyone, whether you live in Costa Mesa, Nebraska, Newport Beach, or another foreign country, you can watch it on the city link as a digital watch. And that's one of the things that I proposed when I first got on the board, so that we could open up the process to more people to be able to participate.
I think that's great. So now that you're ending and at your seat on the board, what would you like to see the board accomplish in the last few months? Or maybe in the future?
Yes. Well, in the next few months, I would like to see us begin implementation of our flagship programs. That is critical, especially in our Costa Mesa schools. And of course, I want implementation of the flagship programs in Newport Beach, Corona Del Mar as well, but those schools haven't had the exodus, if you will, of the local families who live in the homes, single-family homes that surround their neighborhood schools. And I believe that these scholarly, distinguished programs that we have proposed, both in the Estancia Zone and the Costa Mesa High School Zone, are critical to creating a rigorous academic environment for our students, retaining our neighborhood families, and keeping them in our neighborhoods so that they build stronger neighborhoods and better schools instead of sending them to Huntington Beach, Edison, and even Newport Harbor.
Right. Can you give us an example of what one of those flagship programs might be?
Sure. One that's dear to my heart is in the Costa Mesa High School Zone, which is my trustee area. I've worked very closely with the leadership team of principals for all the elementary schools and some staffing and teachers at the high school to implement what is called the Delta Science Academy and the ACE Academy of Creative Expression, essentially a performing arts academy at Costa Mesa High School that carries down through the zone. So Davis Magnet School is already a science, technology, math school that feeds to Costa Mesa Middle School and High School and their Science, Math, Technology Delta program. Then we have Sonora, which is got the infrastructure already as an arts school. It'll become the ACE Junior Academy. Then we have College Park that is online to become a foreign language academy with a dual immersion program of Mandarin, English, and possibly Spanish that will feed into our new Mandarin program at the middle school and the high school. Killybrook will become a focus of computer science, which also feeds to the Delta program. And then Paularino School is going to have a variety of kind of everything to feed into what is already a really excellent Delta Magnet program. So that is in the works, and if we can begin the implementation phase of those programs for the Performing Arts Academy as we open the Performing Arts Center in the fall, I think it'll change forever Costa Mesa High School.
I just have one question with regard to that. If in fact you have Mandarin at College Park, then won't that mean that people from other schools, if you want to keep them in the same schools, won't that mean migration from other schools to that particular school for that particular thing?
Well, the priority would be to the neighborhood residents. They would get first priority. That's the concept that's being proposed.
Okay.
But we do have an intra-district policy within our district. The board has not yet determined how we're going to manage that. I don't actually think that's going to be a big problem. Mm-hmm. If we have 10 people that come from another area want to take Mandarin, mm-hmm. That's a good thing because those are going to be involved parents.
Right. Well, they take adults. I want to take.
Yeah, me too. My son is actually my 8th grader is in the Mandarin program at Costa Mesa. Yeah, he's one of 5 8th graders and out of 60 high school students, and it's really been an amazing program. The teacher is phenomenal.
Are you starting to teach it or talk about it at home or talk in the language at home?
Well, he has taught us a few words, but okay. That's his one and only. That's his unique thing that he gets to do at home.
Okay, so that's great. Thank you. The Costa Mesa, which is what you're running for now, the Costa Mesa City Council is nothing if not fascinating to watch. You left some years ago. What do you anticipate in the way of change if and when you are elected?
Well, what I'd like to change first and foremost is that we get back to just doing the business of the city and not creating a lot of drama in the community and alienating our good, hardworking public safety employees. We have a dearth of police officers in our city right now. It is very scary, frankly, the numbers of police officers employed for our police department, and it's not good for our community. So the police chief is doing a good job of trying to recruit, but that takes time, and it is the result of years of attacking our public employees and alienating them and causing them to want to go elsewhere because there are other communities who are welcoming them. They're very highly qualified, well-trained. We've invested thousands of dollars in training them, and they're sought after, and it's to our disadvantage, frankly. I'd also like to see us really focus on tourism as a way to increase revenue and better partner with our local South Coast Plaza, our local tourism community, so that we can increase our revenues. It's the easiest way to increase revenue in the city, and it does not cost the taxpayers who live in Costa Mesa a penny.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else, do you think?
Oh, there's lots of things.
I know. Can you name anything? All right. Well, I guess my last question to you, Katrina, is any of this fun for you? I'm looking around, and you have a business here, and you are on the board, and you do all these other things, which I see on Facebook, by the way, with your sons and everybody else. So, is any of this fun, or how do you do it?
I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. My oldest son and I have talked about this a lot in terms of you got to find something in life that you care about, that you want to do, and that is fun for you. Because then it's not like work, okay? If it's fun, it doesn't feel like work, and you're not tortured by the process. Now, my husband thinks I have this weird disease called public service. So I got most school service in 8th grade, and it's just kind of who I am. I don't know why, but I enjoy this process. I enjoy helping. I feel like I have a lot to bring, and it is fun for me. Now, it's not fun when you get into these contentious battles with people, but that's one thing I'm hoping we can get away from, and we can just focus on what are the practical, pragmatic governing approaches that we can apply in the city to do what's in the best interest of the community, so that we can have low taxes, quality communities, families want to live there, and low crime, and that's pretty much it.
in my interview with Wendy Lease, she talked about just a teeny bit about your cooperation with her during the fair situation. Could you enlarge upon that?
Yeah, well, Wendy and I actually became great friends over the fair dispute. We visited Sacramento. I went to Sacramento and met with Governor Schwarzenegger a few times, went to Sacramento and lobbied the legislature to stop the sale of the fairgrounds. I actually was a named plaintiff in the lawsuit that we filed against the state to prevent the sale, and was successful. And so Wendy and I got very close because we worked very hard. I mean, Wendy, she will work hard, and she really cares deeply about the residents of the city. And I've come to admire Wendy quite a bit.
That's great. So it's I do want to say that you were also voted Outstanding Citizen of the Year by Orange Coast College in 2010. I just want to mention that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's really been great.
Thank you.
It's been great interviewing you.